Chicken wings tonight. Got a few more here than I think I need, but they're defrosted, and so going forward with plans here. Gonna have like, I don't know, 25, 28 chicken wings here. So we're gonna start by portioning these out. We're gonna get rid of the tips and start them in a marinade. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to marinate them, and all of our flavor that's going to be really in the wings is going to be in the marinade, besides the wings themselves. The coating, we're just going to do strictly cornstarch. And so whatever sticks to these wings makes it to the cornstarch and gets stuck on there is going to be a part of that chicken wing. So that's the first step for tonight. We're going to be chopping those up. Also going to be doing, I forget who suggested it, but I have a whole bunch of egg whites, so I'm going to do, this is more of a bundt cake style pan. It's about the closest thing I have to a whole pan. But we'll try and use that for angel food cake. Typically you don't, this is a non-stick pan. It doesn't really look it, but you don't really want a non-stick pan for angel food cake, so that's a sort of detriment to this, because you want it to stick to the sides and allow it to continue growing. But we'll see how it turns out. And making whipped cream with that, and having gin and juice tonight. Well, not really, but I was figuring it's orange season. I have Grand Marnier. I have orange bitters. I have gin. I have oranges. You know, I made some simple syrup up that I threw in the fridge. So we'll give that a shot. I'm gonna wait for the simple syrup to get a little cooled down, since I just made that. I just threw that in the fridge, so it's still quite warm. Did you have it at home, or did you eat out? I always sort of side with Anthony Bourdain when it comes to, unless you're going to like a chicken restaurant, the chicken dishes there are for people that don't know what they want. I haven't tried frying chicken this way before. I've done tempura fried veggies, which is sort of what we're doing here. This is sort of tempura style, but it's not at the same time. Because we're not doing a batter, but it is cornstarch or potato starch, whichever floats your boat. also don't make chicken wings at home very often. Just because I used to be in the stock business. I used to make stock all the time, and so whenever I got wings or anything like that, they were sort of, throw them in the stock. I'm gonna go a little Asian style. I'm not following the recipe, but this is being somewhat influenced by Korean chicken wings. So I'm gonna do a little soy sauce, maybe a hit of Worcestershire. Nothing too serious. Let's see what spices I've got kicking around that'll go in there. Yeah, ginger sounds good. I got some of that. That wasn't a very clean cut, but did the job. Might as well do a little orange too, since, I mean, also for the same thing for the cake, I figured we can use some of the zest for the cake. We can also thinking little nutmeg, little vanilla paste. Save those. Even though we'll be refreezing them, I'm going to save those for stock. They'll have lots of good gelatin in them. It'll help give it some body if it doesn't help with flavor. Always forget to check before I start if I'm on the right mic. I've got 2 mics in the kitchen. Started on the right one today. Without checking. Okay, bag. For that, let's do spices and stuff when my hands are clean. Do I want to put any heat in there? I don't think so. So I'm going to use a little aromat, which is essentially sold in European countries by Knorr. It's essentially MSG. I mean, it's salt and MSG. It's salt, MSG, potato starch, onion, turmeric, celery extract, more umami. Yeast extract, more umami. Garlic, more umami. Maltodextrin and mushroom extract, more umami. So this will hit us on all of our umami flavors. I tend to go for this over straight Ajinomoto MSG. This stuff. When I'm working with chicken, that I like the flavors that the extra stuff with that with chicken. Okay. I think I'm gonna stick to just. We're gonna toss that. Be right back. That onion powder is done for, so we won't use onion powder, but we'll add some garlic powder. Add a pinch of garlic powder here. Gonna add a little bit of salt, not a lot, because obviously I'm adding soy sauce here. Soy sauce. Yeah, why not? Going full umami here, I add a little Worcestershire. So we'll just leave it at that. Oh, that'll go good with this too. A little sweetness. They got my garlic and honey fermentation going here. A little apple cider vinegar, but mostly just honey and garlic. The garlic breaking down is what makes the honey so loose, not the vinegar. We'll use that a little bit later for, we'll do a fermented honey, garlic, and mustard, and we'll do good old original Frank style with Franks and butter. So we'll let these guys just hang out. We'll get this out of the way while we're here. We got, before I go and get my hands dirty once again with chicken stuff, gonna take our whipped cream for with our cake later tonight. Throw that in the bowl. My kitchen towels are done drying. And powdered sugar. Roughly half cup of sugar there. And the idea here is we're going to get everything mixed, all hanging out together. But I'm not really going to whip the cream yet. Add a pinch of salt here so it tastes like something. And then just whisk to combine. Then we're going to throw the whole thing in the fridge for until we're ready to make whipped cream. Sort of like commercial kitchens or people who have Vitamix, or not a Vitamix, a Cuisinart mixer. they'll take the bowl and their whip and the cream, and they'll throw it in, they'll throw the bowl and the whip in the freezer, or they'll throw all three of them like I'm doing here in the fridge, so that they're all nice and cold and all cold together. We're not adding anything to the party that's going to warm that cream up other than the air. Didn't get the ginger in there with the... I'll get to that here in a minute. Oops. Run away. Label everything you throw in the freezer, that way you know what the heck you got. Get rid of all of our raw meat stuff here, give all of that a quick clean up here. So all the Formula One cars are being debuted here. Getting excited. Even though the news today was China Formula One is at least postponed because of coronavirus worries. Apparently China's canceling all sorts of sports stuff right now because of coronavirus. But the amount of planning and everything that goes into a Formula One race, it's surprising because it's not even, I mean, it's early in the year, but it's not like right now. At least I don't think it is. I haven't read much, but it looks like Ferrari made some major changes to their engine compartment. Just from watching their reveals. Ferrari's looking much more streamlined. Ginger. I'm not going to take all the skin off of it. I'm just going to hit the major parts there. Nice long slices with the grain, and then short slices against the grain. I might go through that again. You get a piece like that in with one of your wings, you're going to taste it. Oh, that's something I forgot and had last time. Let's throw a dash of rice wine vinegar in there too. Hidden back in the back of the closet. Ooh, and while I'm at that, just keep adding and adding and adding. Little toasted sesame oil. Okay, now we'll let those hang out for a while. Still toasty. And my sink gets going hot, it gets hot. So, don't want to get going with the angel food cake just yet. So, let's make a drink. Let's get, let's get the oil set up here first. We got new jug of oil. Gonna use fresh oil tonight. Still have the old oil, and I'll use that probably once more for something more heavily seasoned, like fried chicken or something along that line. But I didn't want to overwhelm it because I've used it with a lot of stuff that along that line, heavy spiced stuff, and it's still heavily spiced, but it's definitely spiced. essentially using a whole bottle there between the two of them. I'm trying to leave about this much, the same amount I had in there in this one, so that I can use that to store it after we're done. So, got that set. I need citrus for this. Just finding new things to add in with that chicken. Gives me an excuse to toss it some more. Okay. There is no name for this drink. There is that I know of. There's a drink that's similar to it. I don't recall the name of it off the top of my head when I was looking earlier this morning. That uses essentially all these same ingredients but adds vermouth in there. And I didn't feel like buying sweet vermouth for this. I will buy sweet vermouth later in the year when we get into making Negronis again, but not right now. Oh, let's use this guy. No, let's use this. Don't know if I approve of that name. Well, I don't know if I necessarily approve of that either, because I'm not exactly the biggest orange juice guy. I have been drinking a bit more of it the last couple of years, but usually much more of a apple or so we'll add that whole thing in there. I had to buy ice. My ice machine's broke at the moment. Not broke, but I needs to fix it. So we got Woodford Reserve Orange Bitters, which I got on my Kentucky trip this past summer. Maybe should have added those at the end on top. Maybe still will. Oh, come on. We got Grand Marnier. Which, if you're not familiar, is sort of like a burnt orange liqueur. It's the most selling, greatest selling liqueur in the world, with a bottle opened about once every 6 minutes. At least that was a stat like 10 years ago. And I have some St. George. If you have an opportunity to give this a try in a bar, give this a shot, just with like some tonic, something simple. It's a very interesting gin that uses nothing but California ingredients. So it's very earthy, very piney as far as gins go, but very interesting gin, but a little bit too out there, I think, for this. And so I'm just gonna go for my well. Take that and let's see, what will that fit into nicely? I might strain into one of these guys. It's one of my Johnny Walker glasses that I got when I traveled to China many years ago. That I bought in China, rather. Not really special other than that. And piece of ice got through. Orangey. You know what that needs? That needs the simple syrup that I made. Don't know that gin is the drink for that one. The proper alcohol for that one. Not too shabby with a little bit more Grand Marnier in there. Yeah, I don't know that gin's the right one for that. Maybe a really clean gin, but the juniper and the orange aren't playing well to me. Which is probably why they use vermouth to give it a whole bunch of herbal background. Alright, man. Hope everything's alright. Otherwise, you do you. It's growing on me, as gin drinks do. Throw our simple syrup back in the fridge. And turn our heat on for our Actually, let's get our cake going. And I use that one for that, and I use that one for that. Poor planning on my part. I need to use this bowl. So we'll leave these guys to hang out in there. Clean this up and use this for our angel food. A little frustrated with myself over that one. I actually was feeling prepared and proud today for doing this, and Had everything all lined up ahead of time. Was prepared for streaming. Takes a little bit more work for me than your average streamer that can just sit down at a computer and flip a switch. I gotta buy stuff. So I'm gonna start by greasing this guy. I'm gonna grease him with butter and then flour, and use that in hopes that since it's a non-stick, the flour, which the combination of those will help it not stick to the outside to begin with if it's a normal pan. But like I said before, non-stick, we want this to be able to climb up the sides and grow. And so I think with some flour mounted in place with some butter, it'll give a little bit more of a foothold for it to continue to grow as it cooks and expand. So we'll take some butter and rub that all over the inside. Okay. So that's really all the butter there is, I think, in this. This is one of the things about angel food cake is how little fat and, I mean, it's basically egg yolks. Forgot to buy cream of tartar. Damn it. So we'll have to do it with egg whites without cream and tartar, but so be it. Got cake flour. Leave you up for later. And I'm gonna do this over the sink, but I'm gonna tap it so that it comes up to the edge and spills over just so slightly and slowly that we get a nice coat on the inside of the pan wherever I got butter to stick. So Not a perfect coat, but got a nice coat around it there. That wasn't part of the recipe. I've done that for other things, and I decided to do that because I thought it might help using it with a non-stick pan. We'll see how this turns out. The whole thing's a little bit of an adventure. Orangey, and orangey. So we need to start with egg whites and whisk. See how many egg whites we need. Egg whites. So we got 6 here. I just got sprayed by my sink. Well, fuck me. I didn't buy eggs. I don't know if I can do this recipe now. I'm going to give it a try at a half size. I'm not using a huge container anyway, so I thought I had more eggs in the fridge. Damn it. So we're going to get these eggs up to a soft peak here before we start adding in all the other junk. And then hopefully after we get all the liquids in with the egg, we can get them up to a stiff peak, and then we add in the flour and sugar. We should be okay doing a half recipe of this. I mean, it's basically just a being mechanically leavened by the eggs. If you're just joining us, we got a whole bunch of chicken wings sitting here marinating. Got them soaking in with soy, orange peel, rice wine, vinegar, all sorts of goodies. Ginger, garlic powder. This is one of those recipes where you want your oven hot and ready to go. You don't want to get this one mixed together and then realize you need another 30 minutes for your oven to warm up because you're going to lose a lot of your volume. Still not quite there. I'd say that's a soft peak. Not a very impressive one, but it'll work. So, salt. Everyone puts too little salt in their desserts. Powdered sugar, and we need cane sugar. Doing half recipe here, so we need half cup of sugar. Yeah, gonna make doing my best to make an angel food cake considering I forgot to buy more eggs. So it's gonna be a half-size angel food cake. Nutmeg. Actually, this has already got orange on it, so we're going to use orange, so a little orange zest first. This is my gin drink for the evening. I don't know if I'm sold on it yet. It's I don't know if the gin and the orange work together. If I was in a fancy bar, like there's a fancy bar in town here, does upscale cocktail drinks. Put a nice thin slice of dried orange on top. Look all trendy. Maybe a giant block of ice. There's similar recipe that uses vermouth. I didn't feel like buying vermouth. So it's sweet. It's nice. It's got a nice strong. Yeah, we've got some. I got some of the garlic honey in here with some sesame oil. Got the chicken wings marinating. We got soy sauce. We got some ginger. We got some garlic powder. We got some of the garlic fermented honey garlic that I have on the counter behind me in there. Good stuff. This looks like a rather odd piece of nutmeg. I think I'm going to toss that. There we go. That is nutmeg. Familiar from your winter seasonings. That's in, why am I putting this in the refrigerator? That's in most of your pumpkin spices, most of your winter stuff. It's also a great background note, which is why I've got it in there. And last, not least, but maybe hardest to open, little vinegar paste. Vinegar paste, vanilla paste. So we'll mix all that in there. Bring these up to our final stiff peaks. No, vanilla extract. They're different things. You could have interchanged them basically. To the end user, there's not much difference. So you're somewhat right, but vanilla extract is where you take vanilla and you're extracting the flavor out of the beans using alcohol. That one, you're still sort of doing it, but you're really just mashing in the beans. It's a much more pure, cleaner. They're processing the beans and mashing them in with their, instead of just being them soaked with and extracting all the liquid and flavor out. It's a little bit closer to if you're oiling or taking the oil out of the beans. They're mashed up and hydrated a little bit with simple syrup and bourbon in this case. Of course, the real truth of it is anyone in the U.S., including myself, who's buying plain vanilla beans over vanillin is buying marketing. I really should just buy vanillin. Because the chemical that they now produce as the alternative, there's the only difference is in your mind. Still soft peaks. I'm gonna do whipped cream later. I'm gonna be like Popeye with these arms. One giant arm and the other one's Sure you're gonna come in the door now? Don't come in the door. No, don't show my house. Oh. We're getting close now, though. This is literally the tired chef whipping method, because you're using different muscles to move it. It's not nearly as good at incorporating air into it, though. So if you ever see someone switch between those two and trying to act like he's king of the hill, yeah, he's tired. Almost there. That's basically... I've got stiff peaks basically in the center of this. It's just not all of it now. Stress? I don't have any stress, just probably blood. So, half recipe. So we're using half cup of cake flour, which after getting messy there, stay. I'm gonna sift in here. Sift all over me. Let's go turn the fan off. I am only using the whisk really here just to try and incorporate a little bit of this. Really should be switching over to a spatula at this point, which I will be doing shortly. And a cup of powdered sugar, or half cup rather. And we're also going to sift this in just so that it's not all landing on our whipped egg whites all in one spot. So it sort of rains down instead. Trying to distribute that weight as much as possible. Pull out the big boy tonight. I don't use this guy a lot. We're literally folding it in like a package. Not even really worried about fully incorporating all that flour. We just want it all trapped. See, like I said, trapped. This is going to be a sort of bubbly, boiling mess as it rises, which is why we're not so worried about that. It's all going to get mixed up by the heat, and it's what growth we get out of it. there's our cake. We're going to drop that on a pan with some parchment. And into 350-degree oven. For 40 to 45 minutes. Set our timer here for 40 minutes. Meantime, we'll get our oil going here. Gonna need rack set up for our drying chicken. We're gonna need a bowl with some cornstarch here for our bowl with cornstarch to coat our wings. Cutting board's looking a little dark. I oiled it on Monday. So, looking nice and rich and dark and pretty right now. The last time I did this, it lasted me about 3 days. Hopefully I'll remember to have a good one, Wolf. Hopefully I'll remember on this Monday, and I'll hit it up with the oil and wax combo. So I'm just a sweating tonight. Let's turn that fan back on now that I'm not dealing with flour. Thanks for the sparks. Can't see what it was right now. Yeah, I think I'd probably just take a mimosa over that. That's the gin's not helping that. So we need a bowl here for our cornstarch. You want a larger bowl than that. Don't sort of miss some bowls in that sort of medium range. Let's use this guy. One of my old pie tins, not my old pie tins, but one of the pie tins I've had kicking around for a while. So, decent amount of cornstarch there. We're going to be packing them on, especially with that. I might have to go back for more. Mess with all that flour and it's cornstarch that gets me. Yeah. Oh well. So I got flour, I got cornstarch on me. It's inevitable wearing a shirt like this, so you're gonna get white stuff on it. So like you wear a white shirt, you're gonna get it dirty. You wear a dark shirt, you're gonna get it white. Need more water. Gotta stay hydrated, even if you're drinking. Especially if you're drinking. See how our oil is doing. You see the oil right now? You can't see the oil right now. It's got a sort of interesting spiderweb pattern to it right now as it's unevenly heating. Be very careful moving pans with oil in them. This has got extremely high sides to it, which doesn't really show hugely in that image, but there's a good 6 inches. I mean, you see how tall this pan is here. The oil is maybe 3 inches deep, up somewhere around here. So the rest of that is all splash zone. So we're up around 130 right now. We need to be up at least 300, 325. The Korean version of this, they fry it twice. They also toss it like with a really spicy sweet sauce. That's different from what I'm doing. Sort of debating here if I want to try frying these twice. I think I'm going to do that because we're going to have to worry about the oven. We can't throw these in the oven to hold. So we'll try the twice fry method. We're just going to pack the cornstarch on these guys. I'm not going to be shy about it. A little like batter, the more of it there is, the better crunch and the better actual crust you'll have. You want to make sure they're all fully coated though, too. All those dangly bits get coated too, so that they're nice and crispy, crunchy pieces. And this is also, I mean, when you do a normal three uh, stage batter, you got to keep it all separate. Whereas every video I've seen of this, they just keep going back to the same pan, so I'm going to do that too. Until we're done with it. Obviously not going to mix raw with finished cooking, but OJ's got me burping. It looks like we might squeeze by with this. We got more starch if we need it, though. And additionally, we're not really worried about if any of the juices that are in the bottom of the marinating pan get in with the. It's just extra flavor. Could do this about 10 times quicker if I had a nice big strainer for it all. Got myself a gun with cornstarch. Got a nice strainer with all of it and a nice basket underneath. You can just toss the starch over, and I sort of miss having the starch bin I had at the walk station I used to work, where you got this essentially a full hotel pan with a cover over it, and you can dump things into a basket and just shake them in starch and not worry about it going anywhere. Which is how this would be done in a restaurant, and much quicker and much more efficiently. Me, no, I'm going to sit here and play with every single piece. I'm gonna play with my food. It's all being a chef really is an excuse to be able to play with your food. And get paid at it for it. If the starch starts clumping up or anything like that, I mean, if it's ridiculous, that's one thing. But small little pieces of clumps are just going to turn out as awesome little crunchy bits on the outside, so you don't really need to worry about it too much. You know, we're sort of getting down to, I'm mentioning that because we're starting to get a couple of those in this. We're starting to work with the last a little bit to try and get everything nicely coated. Doing the drumettes first here, since they're the hardest to coat around the thin piece here. Now we got everything coated, we can just toss the last of that in there. You don't have to worry about any of the juices at the bottom, they'll just stick to everything. Let's see how our oil is looking. 200 degrees. As you can tell, like, I'm not absolutely cranked here. I am pretty high up there, though. That's solid medium temp. I always try to hesitate on cooking oil too quickly and bringing it up too quickly because, I mean, you go too far, it keeps going. Carryover heat will make it so that you carryover heat will make it so it gets much hotter than you want it to be, and so I shoot to raise it at a lower temp so that it only goes a little bit past where I want it to, rather than, 400. One of the advantages of a pan like this guy, where the handle fell off years ago, used to have a nice long handle to it. This guy used to be welded on there like that. But makes it a lot easier. I actually like it better without the handle on it. The lip on it is good enough to get a good purchase. So we can swap mics here. We can mics here. There we go, Swiderian Duck. You did it, yay! Bring these guys over here. And should make that longer. Oh, and then it messes up on a couple others. I'm gonna have to do that off stream. Gonna make that Sparks and the donations thing longer than just 2 people. But it's gonna mess up. I use that same love and hate OBS at the same time. There's things that are great and simple about OBS, and then there's things that are really too complicated for their own good when it comes to OBS. Same thing with Stream Deck. I think some of their code could be simplified in order to allow us more customability. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into regular OBS again. I'm sort of tempted to go back now that I'm on Mixer, and it doesn't show me the sparks right. It doesn't show me embers right. It doesn't. And I think there's probably more plugins now for OBS that make it a lot more interesting. I was going Streamlabs because I started off on that other streaming platform, and it's pretty much the standard over there, and it doesn't really work too well here. .230-ish. Our cake's about halfway there. Let's turn on the light and see if that's looking okay. Ooh, that's filling out nicely. We might be just right with a half recipe with that pan. Like I said, that's not quite the proper pan to be using for this. You typically use a what they call as a whole pan, where you can take the center and you can separate the sides off of it. Allows you to cool the cake a lot quicker. Not sold on how I'm going to try and do this for this one. Might just let it sit in the pan and let it cool in the pan as is, because I buttered and floured the pan, so we shouldn't. And it's a non-stick pan, so it shouldn't be a problem sticking to the pan. We'll see. It's an adventure. That's what the stream is. Always trying out new things. I mean, wrapped in a foundation of having tried a lot of other things already, but though since we got only 16 minutes here, I could just take my time with the oil here and do one good solid frying of these chicken. It would be a little bit quicker, actually, if I take my time now. It's funny how, steps and working out with if I take my time with the oil here, the cake will be ready. We can pull the cake out and let the cake rest. And do our frying and use the oven to finish off our chicken rather than worrying about doing it all in the oil, which I don't know. Ooh. Maybe the bitter sunk to the bottom. Wasn't a bad sip. It was a bitter sip though. So there you go. If you're watching, you've identified my bitter pucker face. Let's see, how dirty do I look? Full screen. You can see a little bit over here. Start using OBS as my personal mirror. Pretty even. That's pretty good for this guy. Usually, maybe got enough oil there that it's staying pretty stable. I wonder if I can start one easily on this. It would be cool if I could start a timer on the stream and show you guys, 12 more minutes until the cake's done, sort of a thing. I think I got some work to do when it comes to OBS. And when people talk about switching between Streamlabs and OBS, it's a pretty major undertaking, especially for someone like me, or like maybe well, all the overlays. I mean, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 17 different scenes set up in OBS between cutting board, main, that being able to show the PC with the main view, being able to have intro and AFK and closing credits. And you got to redo all of those if you switch between them, because there is no copy and paste. Actually, it looks like it's going to work out just the way I said anyways. Oil ain't going to be ready until the cake's done. So, excuse me, I'm going to take 1 second here while things are warming up, and I will be right back. Alright, back again. Hey, Wizard. Yeah, I just taking a pause here. Don't know if you're still in room or not. Don't know. I'm not looking who's in room right now. Uh, Waiting for our oil to get up. We're waiting on our cake to finish. We've got our half recipe angel food cake made in a bundt pan. With another 4 minutes to go. And our oil is getting close to temp here, but not quite there yet. Looking for the typical 325 here. Still sitting in the 280s if you're not able to see that or not. We have chicken wings that I've previously marinated with soy sauce, ginger, garlic powder, some of my honey with garlic fermented in it, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there. Salt, light salt because we're using soy, and I kept throwing things. Oh, orange peel, or rather orange zest. We kept adding things to this, and then the coating is just pure cornstarch. So that's sort of the new thing for me. I haven't tried doing chicken wings in cornstarch. Sort of. Well, it's not tempura style, because tempura you're using not just cornstarch, but you're using like a batter, cornstarch batter, often with carbonated water that actually helps with a little bit of aeration in there. Cake is smelling lovely. Angel food cake we did with some almond paste, some orange citrus again, some orange zest rather, and some nutmeg. I don't think mine's going to rest upside down, but I can at least put it up on the bottle so that it cools around the pan. I don't have, like I said, I'm using like a bundt-like pan, so it's not like the traditional whole pan where you can take the sides off and hang it basically. So that was the timer for the pan, but I realized I just wanted to put this on this rack. But this rack is dirty, so taking a moment here to clean this up. Just put that right there. It's our half-size angel food. Turn the oven temp down to more of a holding temp. Still not quite there. But like I said, I'd much rather wait a minute here and not greatly overshoot my cooking temp with the oil, since it's going to continue to heat up after. Do I go for it? I'm gonna try it. There we go, folks. I have done that. That has been done. And so even though the cake partially collapsed in the oven, being a smaller size, It we're still putting it upside down on the bottle like this, so that it's inverted, so it has as little interest as possible in collapsing further as it finishes drying like this. I am very happy with the outside texture of this. May have collapsed more than would be hoped, but at the same time, this is not a perfect recipe to begin with. We were trying out something different. I was trying out something different with a different pan. I was trying out something different with the fact that I didn't buy enough eggs, so I did a half recipe. One more minute on that. We're 3:23 on that last look. Okay, I think we're finally there. I think we're going to end up doing 3 batches here. I was actually planning on 2 originally. But I don't want to overload the pan and kill the heat too much. We're still around 300, which is good. I actually think I'm going to follow her plan. I think we're going to go for twice frying here. These are nice and crispy, crunchy, starting to get golden. That chicken ain't anywhere near done. So we'll let these guys chill out, and we'll dump them back in again after we've done another batch or 2 over here. But for just being in there a short amount of time, and the fact that we're going to go back in there with those guys, I think their plan was better than I was thinking of just doing one and done, and in the oven. Wow. I want to make sure none of that's sticking to the bottom there. first and second batches. This is the first batch, this is the second batch. You can see they're letting off a little bit of juice and blood. Yummy stuff, which will crisp up nicely in our second frying here. Once we get done with this last new batch here, which we're going to have to wait for this to heat up a bit more again. Gonna wait until it gets up to at least 315 again, maybe 320. Very happy with how the chicken is looking as it dries. we're gonna get them really nice and golden, really nice and crunchy here with the second fry. I'm also thinking this has turned out actually on par for as expected, you know, for being a half recipe, being the wrong pan. I think we got a decent product here. Other than, yeah, we can clear this away from the pan. This is going to pull right out. So I'm going to turn this guy upside down and just let him finish cooling like that. I don't think we need the bottle involved anymore. I don't know if we really needed the bottle to begin with, because with the half recipe and the same cook time, the outsides of, I think I overcooked it. I think it'll still be good, but I think I already did what deflating there's going to be happening to this, and I think the sides were already set when I pulled it out. So the holding on the bottle, as the tradition is for angel food cake, I think might have been a little unnecessary. Burner always seems hottest down in this corner and sometimes up at the very top. Typically coldest over on this side, but that sort of makes sense because the pilot or the igniter is over here, so you don't have a flame right there, basically. I don't know, can you see the laser on there at all? Where I was pointing, basically, there's no flame right there, but there's flame all the way around except right there. Okay, I'm going with that. cooking tips, and now we got sanitary tips on our. Give that a moment to warm back up again. Something in my back just popped, and not in a good way. And this time, once I get it back up to 320-ish, I think I'm going to actually go with about half of this. So I think I'm going to go with just do 2 batches like I originally planned. Although heavily, a much more load up the pan than I was doing before. But they're already somewhat crispy, crunchy. They already got their outside somewhat set, so we're not too worried about them getting soggy and becoming Siamese twins or some freak combination of wing parts. Looking at my garden, which is starting off nicely. Got my starts, and they're all popping up. They're all going. Of course, that may be something to do with both the warmth right now and how much light there is right now. Regardless, my plant over here in the front of my house, is popping all of its flowers out, ready to go. My orchid's ready to bloom again, but that's more of a winter plant, so as far as the blooming, it usually blooms when it's cold. Or when we get into winter light, which is what's triggering that. I hear you, Oil. Flower bubble there on top, but otherwise I think we're looking pretty good there. Let me put that back in the pan for the moment. What I think I'm going to do, so I'm going to make a it's getting pretty late here. I don't want to take too much more time here. I don't even have sauces made up for these. I think I might actually skip them. These are looking pretty freaking good like this. I'll make some Franks and butter. Why you no heat up? Hmm. Almost there, folks. Almost there. Okay, give this pan another spin. Again, if you're worried about oil splattering or oil, that sort of a thing, you can buy screens that'll do that. I say again, but I haven't said this tonight. But there's oil screens you can buy if you're worried about splattering. And I have an ABC fire extinguisher over here, which will work with an oil. Or is that the... Let me double check this. Make sure I got the right fire extinguisher here. Yeah. Monoammonium phosphate, ABC fire extinguisher, which will work on a oil. Oh wait, there's a Class K. Maybe I should get a... That's probably a Ansel system, but Class K is for kitchen oils. Class K, Class K. So I don't have the right fire extinguisher. Lovely. Light I can't see if you can tell. There we go. Gotta hold it like that. So we're getting there. Not quite that hot over here. Hot enough over here. So we'll give this another turn. Alright, I'm gonna go with it. Hey, you wizard. Just in time for my second frying here of the wings. We got our first set of fried wings here. They've gone through the oil once. Going through a second time here. Once we've done that, I'm going to throw them in the oven while I make up a quick Frank's Red Hot and Butter sauce. getting sort of late here. I don't know if I'm going to do the mustard too. We got our half batch angel food, which is fully detached from the pan there, ready to go. I just need to make up some whipped cream. That did end up, I was talking about not needing to mix it too much. That did end up a little splotchier than I wanted it to. Hey, this is 18 and over. You can say shit. Switch over. Oily goodness. I tried the mixed drink earlier. I was not in love with it. Wasn't horrible. I finished it, obviously, but the gin and orange juice just didn't play as well as I had hoped. May have been my choice of Tanqueray, but regardless, see how we're looking here. Getting there. The chicken wings, since you didn't see the marinade, we did a marinade. I did marinade with soy sauce, little bit of Worcestershire, some orange zest, some ginger, some what else did I throw in here? There's all sorts of goodness in the actual marinade, and then the actual breading is just cornstarch. But I went straight from marinade to cornstarch, so some of the marinade is locked in there with the coating. So how's your evening going? Wow, that looks like it sounded loud. A lot of umami, a lot of garlic powder and my aromat MSG. There's I buy this one too. Oh, this one too. This one's sold in Europe. You can find it in your international stores or online. Not very common in the U.S., so you may have to search around to find a source on it. But I was saying, I like that one sort of better for chicken, where versus just straight Ajinomoto MSG. Ajinomoto MSG. This stuff is a combination of salt, flavor enhancer, MSG, lactose, potato starch, onion, vegetable oil and fat, turmeric, celery extract, more umami, yeast extract, more umami, garlic, more umami, and mushroom extract, more umami. So this is an all-around umami bomb, whereas it's not just straight MSG. See how our chicken's looking? Still not. This one chilled down a little too much for some of these guys, I think. And take this whole thing and throw this down in the oven at 250 for a little bit. Turn the heat off of our oil. Move the oil over here. Be very careful moving oil around. Very, very careful moving oil around. So, Frank's. Just a splash of apple cider vin in there as well. Turn the heat on that low. Get that warming up. Oh no, well, we're going to be coating them a bit like chicken wings. So we need a bit of sauce here. Pull a tiny multicolor whisk. And this is right here. Once I get the butter emulsified in with this Frank's, is the original buffalo hot sauce. That simple is the original one. They actually sell it these days with imitation butter mixed in with the Frank's, I think, in a jug. Especially commercially, but I think I've seen it in stores too. Bit more acidity. There's quite a bit of acidity already in the hot sauce, but just a dash more. And there we go. Cut the heat on that. Set that guy over here and hot pad. And why not? I'll do the mustard one too. I'm going to add a bit of vinegar to this one too, but I'm going to do it more for, ooh, I wish I had some malt vinegar. That would be good for this. But we're going spicy sweet with this, so I guess I could just do this at the board. Little Dijon. Little real Dijon. Add some of our garlic honey. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. And then we need regular honey. Please don't fall over. Okay. Alright, so on the... What you missed was... Oh. Thought I was catching E-Wizard up on what we missed. We've got my angel food. Sort of half failure, half success, considering that that's a half recipe and it's in the wrong type of pan for it. I still think it turned out half decent. We've got our wings in the oven. They've been nicely all fried up now. Twice fried in the oil. All nice and crispity crunchy. We've got the traditional hot sauce for buffalo wings, which is Frank's Red Hot with emulsified butter. In other words, you melted butter into it and it stayed. It didn't separate afterward. It stays as one sauce. And this is we're working on. We got two types of mustard. We got the cheap Dijon. We got the expensive Dijon. We got a heavy tablespoon of honey and some of the fermented honey and garlic honey in there. I'm going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar to that to help thin it out a little bit and add a little bit of acid. More vinegar in that one, obviously. And I pulled it out and I'm debating it. Should I add? I don't know if I want to go hot with this or not, or just leave it mustard hot and sweet, or we can, what some people would add is, to take another step, is some sort of chipotle powder or red pepper flakes. I was sort of thinking horseradish, but I think this is probably good just as it is. I think that's good enough as it is. There's enough mustard in there that it's got enough. But I was considering adding, I've got some horseradish cream, which it would take it sort of the Asian route, which is what I did with the marinade, being soy sauce and ginger and garlic powder. If you put horseradish in with this, many times when people make fake wasabi, what fake wasabi is in most cases is mustard and horseradish mixed together with some coloring. So I could add horseradish to this and give it sort of a wasabi flavor to it, but I think I like the mustard. So I think I'm going to stay with this. Knew that was going to happen eventually. So we got that there. We can pour some of this in here. But I think the next project is going to be whipping whipped cream. Started off the stream, and one of the first things I did was took this bowl, whisk, container whipped cream, half a cup of powdered sugar, and a pinch of salt, and threw that all in the refrigerator together. So everything in here is nice and cool and will be that much easier to whip into whipped cream by hand. This is obviously the second time I've taken a whisk today, making the egg whites for the mini angel food. Yeah, I think I've got enough umami going with the wings as it is right now. But that would work if you're doing it with something else or you're doing it with plain wings. So that's a 6-egg angel food instead of a 12-egg. Because someone forgot to buy more eggs. No, the angel food has 6 egg whites instead of 12. You can see it's already thickened up a little bit. Certainly not where we're going with this. I like my whipped cream to be whipped. I want practically butter here. The last time I whipped whipped cream, it was with Strauss, and it got to the point where it was almost butter-like. It was quite amazing. I'm going with Clover this time, only because of convenience. I didn't have to go to a second store. I went to Safeway, since Safeway was going to be my cheap choice for oil, and if I remembered to buy them eggs. we're now at the fancy restaurant. We're going to give you still creamy or the artisan one where we do things half the way and say it's artisanal, but new. Oops. Okay, there we go. That's my idea of whipped cream. So let's start by getting ourselves a slice of cake here. Ooh, we got a little egg showing on this side over here. Yeah, I should have probably mixed this a little bit better. It's looking nice and well done though. Get out the cake slicer. Don't have any fresh fruit this time of year. Otherwise I'd be throwing a bunch of fresh fruit with this. But that's looking nice and yummy there. Go grab my phone, which is on the corner of the table. I keep forgetting that I started putting it there. Okay. Let's toss some wings. I'm going to start with the Franks. Oh yeah. You got to start with a chilled glass with a root beer float, though. You need that, both from the ice cream and the root beer, and that frozen ice that you get on the. Oh. We're gonna take a couple of these guys that I think are more likely to be solid candidates and less likely to be ones to eat on their own without anything on them. Like some of these nice, I'll throw this guy in there just to be fair, not do nothing but. We got this guy. We'll do 4 more in with him. Yeah, 1 more. It's a bigger bowl. Sort of wishing I had. Ooh. Yeah, whipped cream is a quick and easy one once you learn just how easy and how simple it is, and compared to other things. Last in the house, a little bit of ranch for the center. Sorry, it's going to ruin your view, but I need a bit more cutting board for the picture. All right. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'm gonna go enjoy my chicken wings, my homemade Cool Whip, and actually, I should try doing that sometime. I'd love to see what I probably can't do it without some industrial machine. You can't see, you can't see, you can't see. These are the plain wings. These are our honey mustard. And these are our original buffalo. A little bit of organic ranch. That's the head kicking around in the fridge. We got the little splash of Frank's on the dish. Wipe that off. Lazy presentation, but my style. Perfect would have been like mint and fresh berries, some fresh chives or thyme over the top of this, and a bit more ranch. But I'm just making dinner. I'm just having fun. As for what was new, I haven't tried doing cornstarch with chicken wings before, and so the frying method was entirely new to me, entirely new way of doing it. Very happy with the way they turned out. Probably going to try it again. Probably going to try it for some veggies too, because this is a nice viable alternative to doing what is it called? Tempura. Using because tempura is cornstarch, but you're adding more flavor in this way. Anyways, back. Don't have plans yet for Friday. Sunday I'm doing stock again. I'm going to be doing pork stock on Sunday. So, going to be doing a long stream on Sunday. And Friday, see what I come up with. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for joining.